Hi, everybody. You're listening to Americans by Choice, a podcast from Miguel and David. We bring the outsider's point of view to inside politics. We're both foreign-born and lived in the USA for over 25 years, following politics blow by blow all along the way. Join two old friends who like to talk politics and had a good time while doing it.
Epa, David, how are you, my friend?
Miguel, how you doing, man?
I am good, man. It is a very exciting week, right?
We're in the prelude of the thing we've been waiting for all year.
This time. This might be the last time that these two giants, I guess you could call it head-to-head, but these two giants once again might meet, and we'll see who the greatest of them all is, right? You have Messi playing in America, you have Ronaldo playing in Europe, and we're going to find out who...
No, you're in the wrong podcast, man. This is the one about the politics. This is about the politics. This is not your soccer podcast.
Oh, this is
sorry. Yes, sir. Wrong guy.
I was watching the Euro and then I was watching the Copa America. This is the one I have to talk about the debate with the two old guys.
The two old guys, very different. But I got my hopes up today because apparently RFK Jr. is going to have a co-debate. So check this out. They're going to be debating and he's going to be answering the questions that they asked to the two guys on his own channel. And I'm thinking like, Miguel, why is stopping us from doing the same fucking thing?
That is an incredible idea. Do you want to do the debate live?
So you take one side, I take the other side, and we debate, and we go at it. By the way, so Biden actually won the coin toss, right?
Oh.
Do you know that they decide everything by coin toss? And
well,
the coin toss,
actually, I had heard something about it, but okay.
Yeah. And the coin toss allows you to pick two things. It allows you to pick which side of the stage you are and who goes last, right? Mm-hmm. So Biden chose being on the left side of the stage. So on the screen will
camera
be
right.
Left. Yeah, camera right, left or right. Mm-hmm. And that means that Trump gets closing arguments. And I'm here thinking, Miguel, you're always on the left side of the screen. And I don't remember you and I making any coin toss. And you've been taking advantage of this. You're like a flying under the radar.
I did that thing. Heads I win, tails you lose. And you're like, yeah, okay, whatever.
By the way, if you guys are, for the people who are watching us on YouTube, we're actually both wearing our best summer outfit, right?
Yeah, we both got off at the same time from the valet parking job.
We're both wearing
keep
white.
the keys, assholes.
We're both wearing
going
white.
Home to record a debate podcast. But yeah, look, before we get into it, okay, so he's going to be on the right. So Donald Trump is going to close the argument. Also, I heard that the rules are coming in is that you get to cut off the mic. I mean, I bet you wish you had that power in this podcast too. That's
Well, we had the power of editing, so I'm not going to reveal it, but there's been many a times I cut you off, Miguel, when we edit things out.
There's many a times where I've cut myself off.
I cut me off.
Do me a favor.
No, yeah, but this is going to be interesting. Today, the best part was actually the one person. There is a person in America who has debated these two guys. Happens to be
Hillary Clinton.
Hillary Clinton debated the two ones, and she actually had an op-ed today in the New York Times, and she has, let me quote her. She came out swinging, right? So she says, it is a waste of time to try to refute Mr. Trump arguments like a normal debate. It's nearly impossible to identify what his arguments even are. He starts with nonsense, and then this digresses into blather. Then at some point she drops and the expectations for Trump are so low that if he doesn't literally light himself on fire, some will say he was downright presidential.
Yeah.
Wow, lady, you're bitter. If there is a person in America who has the right to be bitter, it's Hillary. Because boy, if somebody should write a book that's called "I Told You So," it should be. I think her biography should be called "I Told You So." She warned us of everything. She called it out. 2016. By the way, I was thinking today, this presidency, if she will have actually won the Electoral College on top of the popular vote in 2016,
right?
This will be her last term.
Yes.
What a different timeline that was. That would be.
Yeah. I don't know. We can talk about a different, what is it, like a parallel universe. I don't think any president would have survived the COVID crisis. I don't think that would have taken whatever president was on top would have.
But there is a difference. If Hillary would have been president during the COVID crisis, I can tell you from the get-go, she wouldn't have dismantled the early preventing pandemic office that was in China.
Yeah.
Right? That Trump, with much fanfare, dismantled as soon as he came to power, and he said he was so smart because they were wasting money in that. So she wouldn't have done that. And assuming that we still had a pandemic, her response will be much more capable, right? And I'm just going to come up with a number. We will have at least 300,000 less American people dead, right? The tally will be much less. And I don't know by how much, but much less. Because let's don't forget that America had the worst, compared to all the industrialized country, the worst excess death of all the industrial country. But that means with much less death, Hillary will be in jail right now. Hillary would have been given a death sentence of something to the style, because it would be like a cheek kill.
Right.
Under Hillary Clinton, we had a pandemic and we lost everything, and somehow it would have been all her fault with a much better response. So you're right. She probably wouldn't get a second term. By all I know, the Democratic Party will be banned right now as a terrorist organization or something like that.
Yeah. First of all, she wouldn't have given us the great advice to inject bleach, or perhaps... I don't know, what was the other one? Put a flashlight apparatus to kill the... I know that Fauci has been running around giving us his take on the whole thing. We've had this other conversation too, like in a parallel universe, what would have happened if Al Gore would have won that election, and then what the response would have been by the American people if he would have been under 9/11. But again, if he was president, he wouldn't have dismantled the whatever departments were taking care of such things either.
Yeah, somehow they managed to take these terrible tragedies that happened under their watch, and instead of being responsible, we're like, oh, thank good we had this guy who let this shit happen. I have to say, man, one of the greatest, this is the Republican Party in general, but one of the greatest superpowers of Trump, winning by losing. This man...
I mean, that's a very Republican thing, but go on, please.
But he takes it. But that's why he
takes it to the next level, right?
He loses money. He gets bankruptcy. He lost the election, and he went on to be president. The most recent one, he gets 34 felonies and gets to raise all the money on that. Like by all accounts, it can be pictured as a victory. He loses no votes. He gains a bunch of. It's like a lose and win. It's like it's a superpower.
It's another form of like your justice edging in a way. You know what I mean? It's like a popular justice edging in a way.
Can I give you the last installment of justice edging?
A quick update on justice edging.
A quick update. Okay, I'm gonna give you two updates on that. So I'm gonna give you the first one. The first one is, you know how he was about to get. He got a judgment for $500 million. Yes. Right when he was like, we want to impound his buildings and there. Yeah. They lower the amount.
Right.
And then they're like, but give me more time. And I had this, and I know a dude who backed up for me, and the dude had the money, and he was giving every kind of break. Long story short, he didn't have to pony up the $500 million, right? That was the last time. Here, from his last court case in New York, where he came up with the 34 felonies, the gag order was still in place. The gag order has been lifted for the debate. We are another one. Yeah, that has been. So now during the debate, he can say whatever the fuck when the gag order is not even in effect for the debate. And you actually brought in Eileen Cannon, which is the case of classified papers in Florida, right? Where he hoarded all these classified, super classified things, and that has been a shit show. And at this point, we're beyond the pale. Everybody's sure that Eileen Cannon, the judge, is in the back for him. Yeah. Apparently, 2 judges on the Florida circuit has called her like, hey, you seem to be a little bit over your head. You want us to take over? And she says, I got this. And the last one, the last hearing, basically any excuse that Trump comes up with, just let's do a hearing. Let's listen to this. The most ridiculous excuse, right? The last one was like, I won't go into the details, but this one is actually funny. So the last one they came up with is called exfoliation. Miguel, here we're learning a little bit more.
I was gonna exfoliate my face after the
No,
podcast. but-
exfoliation. Like you're spoiling.
Oh.
And here's the thing. This is a great argument. And we're not getting into the wits. It's actually funny.
Right.
So you know how he has all the documents all over the bathroom? I'm looking here in a box of documents in which there's literally his underwears, Miguel. I wish you could see this. His underwears. In a box, and right next to some documents. I swear that you saw that. Literally, they're underwear.
Well, I know what look like at least like golfing shorts. Which,
No, those
my
are
God.
tidy whities, brother. Those are tidy
Oh, my
whities. They're
goodness.
tidy whities in a box, and right next to the box is a bunch of super secret,
We're
right?
all next to the North Korea letters.
Anyway,
most
they're
beautiful
all over the
letters.
place. They're literally boxes, barely clinging on top of each other, and there's underwears, and there is like it looks like a bag of letters. There, anyway. So hear me out. Follow me this far. So his argument is like the evidence has been let me repeat that. Expoliated because so much to learn.
Yeah.
Whatever. This is a real Trump university. Anyway,
Yeah.
so apparently because they went and took all the documents, his argument is like, I had it set up in just such a way, specifically in such a way that my defense is actually on the way that was organized, and I'm making big air quotes.
Huge.
Right? Yeah, air quotes. So now I cannot tell you guys my exculpatory
Arguments. Yeah.
because you guys mess it all up.
You messed
see,
up
those
all my
underwears
papers.
were there for those underwears were there just the right way to be able to justify why I was hoarding a bunch of stuff in super secret nuclear secrets and like all this shit. Anyway, that was the last one. Now,
That's
here's
incredible.
the thing, Miguel.
Yeah.
Anybody can come up with a stupid excuse.
Oh, yeah.
But it takes a fucking corrupt judge to say, you know what? Let's listen to it.
We should
Let's
consider.
listen to that. Let's listen to that. And that was our latest installment on justice edging.
Coming back next week. He'll let
Yes, coming back. So,
This debate is going on CNN, right? So I'm just trying
yeah,
to...
on CNN.
So that'll
on
be Jay Tapper, right? And then
Yep.
Dana Bash, if I'm not
Yeah.
wrong.
Oh my God, very good, Miguel. Very
look
good.
at
You
that.
pass. You pass.
Look
All
at
right,
that.
just go back. No, listen. And of course, he's already working the referees. He's making all the excuses.
Right. So that's where I wanted to go. Okay, so really, look, what does it matter, the debates, blah, blah, blah. But before we get to that negativity, what they're working right now is the power of low expectation. In fact, of no expectation. So even though Trump is saying that Biden is basically an essential walking corpse, tomorrow, or whenever it is, tomorrow, Thursday, he's going to come out just swinging like a motherfucker because he's going to be on some sort of like methamphetamines or something. Last time they said that he was jacked up on caffeine, which I'm
They
like...
say caffeine?
They said jacked up on something, and then if they ever mentioned anything, they just said kind of caffeine, which is... What's the problem with that?
Listen, here's the thing. Over the weekend, all his minions were actually putting out this argument on the Sunday news because apparently that's still a thing. And they're saying that he was being injected with something that's making him coherent. That was actually a quote. And I like
I want to inject you with that. Inject me, maybe.
Where is that fucking drug? Medicare covers that shit. Where do we get that? And how often you had to get those shots? What is that thing? How can I get it? No? So many questions. Why nobody give it to Trump?
Yeah.
He's not making any sense either. So
Don't tell my
apparently
wife it exists because she just inject me every... God damn it. Make some sense, motherfucker.
He drops you in a bath of that and lets you marinate on whatever that drug is. So apparently there is this drug that makes you coherent. And I don't know, maybe it's super secret. Maybe it's only presidents have access to it. But I will imagine that privilege should be extended for this time only to an ex-president like Trump. So yeah.
Super secret, coherent drug. Okay.
Yeah, that makes you coherent. So we have on one side we have that, right? It's the playing with expectations, and on the other side we have working the referee. That's one of the things that's so good. That Republicans are excellent at that. Basically, by accusing the moderators to be unfair and to be in the back for Biden. They bent over backwards to be so fair to him and so tough on Biden, so nobody accusing of being, and it's a maneuver. I could go on and on and on.
No, but tell me a little bit about what is the working of the ref in terms of, do you have any examples of a strategy of such a thing?
Oh, thank you, Miguel. Thank you for asking, my man.
No, because I am actually I'm interested in.
I give you one that's very relevant, that's extremely relevant. Let's talk about the 2016 election, right?
Yeah.
So Hillary Clinton was being investigated. Comey, what was that?
Comey from the FBI had released, said that they investigated the emails, blah, 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 blah.
So Comey from the FBI has been, when she was under investigation, has been called to Capitol Hill, and they were like, you got to tell us everything, and we know you're gonna rule in favor of Hillary Clinton, and you have to let us know, because if we don't know, because you are in the back for Hillary Clinton, you're covering for Hillary Clinton. They were badgering the guy with that. So when the investigations get closed, I don't know, a few months before election time, and the investigation is closed. Hillary Clinton is clear. The October surprise in 2016 is when he comes out of nowhere, and this is what happens. He sends a letter to the committee who was telling him, who was badgering him, right? And says, new evidence came out. There is another hard drive that we don't know what it is, but it may be part of this investigation. We're reopening the investigation. And he comes out and do the Comey letter. That Comey letter wasn't actually a public thing. That was actually something that he sent to Congress. But everybody knew it was going to leak immediately, and sure enough, it leaked within minutes. So he came out and said, we have reopened an investigation in Hillary Clinton, and it's in the mind of many people. That was the thing that just, Hillary was just teetering right there. She was about to, boop, that just put her over the, I will be specific, losing the electoral college, which is the only thing she lost. She lost the electoral college. So that was a great example of the Republicans working the referee, right? Pushing this guy so hard that he's trying to show that he's not in the back for anybody, and he does this unprecedented thing that hasn't done before or since, which is to make public because the DOJ has a policy not to talk about an investigation in the lead up to an election because you don't want to anyway.
So ongoing investigations.
Basically, especially so close to the elections. So that was a time where we saw him working the reference. It's not the first time.
I don't know if this is working the ref, but also, I mean, like, David, I remember watching, I guess the earliest presidential debate that I remember would be the Clinton, not Ross Perot.
Dole, Clinton, Dole. Yeah, but Perot was in it too.
That one? Oh,
yeah.
He was on?
Yeah, Ross Perot on the first one.
Okay. He was?
Yeah.
Ross Perot was in that one, or was that Bush Clinton only? You're thinking of Bush Clinton. But anyways, what I was going to say is, look, I've watched...
You are correct. You're talking about the second term.
Yeah, the second term of
Okay,
Clinton's
second term.
That would be
Clinton's
roughly
second
where
term.
and I've seen all kinds of... There's always a little bit of shenanigans in these debates. But let's just remember, this was like beyond the pale. In 2016, if people don't remember, I believe it was the first debate against Hillary Clinton.
Hillary won every...
Donald Trump invited every woman that accused Bill Clinton of sexual assault and put him in the front row of the debate of his side or something.
I forgot about that.
This is, I don't know if that would be working the ref or like working the ring. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, no, that was a good, which is interesting because apparently I just saw George Carville.
Because would be the equivalent of if Biden came in and he had like Stormy Daniels in the room.
No, it gets better. George Carville was actually talking this morning about how there is 24 women alleging that Trump sexual assaulted. That would be the equivalent to bring those 24 women and put them on the stage. Of course, the rules of the new debate is like there is no live audience, and they're cutting their microphone. And by the way, I still have about even money. Me and apparently George Carl. I say this in the last episode, but I still feeling like there is a chance that he won't show up. I feel like this whole Trump asking for a drug test is just a way out for him not to show up. And as I say, Carville, right?
Carville, yeah, the Raging Cajun.
The Raging Cajun.
Run the Clinton campaign back in the 90s. Yeah.
Yeah. He's also had it my same take. Like he says, "Oh, I have even money that he won't show up." So yeah, so I had good backup. By the way, we just mentioned Perot, right? And I think Ross Perot, when he
Ross Perot,
also who, as you correct me properly, right? He was on the first. He was part
campaign.
he was running against Clinton, and he was basically the third party candidate during the first Clinton presidency. And he was polling 10, 15, 20%, which is like the numbers that RFK is polling right now, Miguel. RFK didn't qualify for the debates because he needed to be over 15, but he hit those numbers and he just went down.
What I heard is actually he was on 15 in 2 polls, and you need 3 polls. So 1 poll, he was a little low on it.
Yeah, so what I'm trying to say, he's on the territory of Ross Perot, who arguably decided the election in favor of Clinton the last time that we had a contender as a third party.
A viable contender, yeah.
Now, here is the interesting part. You know who is funding RFK campaign?
We know that his vice president is the ex-wife of the Google guy, so that's
she bought herself that VP slot, and then, but now the president has been pretty much funded exclusively for Timothy Mellon from the Mellon family, fortune, all fortune. Timothy Mellon happened to also be gave $50 million to Donald Trump on this election cycle, right after the 34 indictment. So he gave half the money that Trump raised on his last elections, on his last fundraising cycle, came from the same guy. This guy had just bought 2 tickets in this rifle. So this is like buying, I don't know, 2/3 of the ticket for the car.
For the lottery.
No, it's not even a lottery because the odds are that good that I will call it a raffle.
Right, it's your
it's
raffle.
more like a raffle, except that imagine that the raffle is for a car, and those 2 tickets are on, you pay $1,000 for them. So you had a really good deal. More proof than that.
The system is rigged. It's rigged.
No, the RFK is just there to fucking hand the election to Trump. That's basically what it is.
Then that means that the idea that even the questioning of what RFK is doing in your mind is just like a bullshit question. He's simply there to take away from Biden. I mean,
listen, man, RFK.
All Biden needs to do is lose a couple of states, and then that's it. So
listen, let me tell you. So 2 things I want to talk about. I want to talk about RFK at 2 levels. A, the threat that he does. So far, he's only qualified to. On the ballot, he's only qualified to be on the ballot in Utah as this week. Utah, Michigan, California, Delaware, Oklahoma, Hawaii, Texas, and South Carolina. Of all the states, you can ignore all of them and only think there is only one that matters, Michigan.
Yeah.
Michigan. If he moves the needle on Michigan and takes votes away from Biden on Michigan, he will be handing the election to Trump. And I just find it fucking fascinating. This is nothing but a man with a big ego who has to compensate for bullshit. And it just makes me think here's the thing, Miguel. This guy is a fuck up.
Yeah.
It's a fuck up, but happens to be a very rich fuck up, right?
Yeah.
This is a guy who was a heroin addict, who, I don't know, had a worm in his head, and he hasn't been that extraordinary, that outstanding in order to have this high on a profile, right? What I'm trying to say here is that this thing that happens that when it comes to income inequality and this whole society inequality, we have gone far from everybody has the same opportunities, right? We're no longer even talking about do everybody get the same opportunities. We know that's not the case, right? But here's the thing that is very different. A rich person can fail endlessly and win.
Yeah.
Right? You can fail endlessly and win. A middle-class person had to play a perfect game of winning to get what they need to get. So that's the thing that I find, it sounds to me like we need to find a way to redistribute the capacity to lose. I think it was Warren Buffett, who used to be one of the richest men in America, who pledged to give most of his fortune when he died, right?
Yeah.
And everybody's like, oh, but what are you going to leave to your kids?
Yeah.
And I think it's our wise words. He say, I left my kids enough money to do whatever they want. Mm-hmm. The only thing they cannot do is nothing. Enough money for them that they can do anything they want except nothing. Which I think is points to this thing that I'm telling you.
I wonder what that number is.
I don't know exactly.
I want that number.
Yes. What is that? I just seen that show, Shit Critics, where the lady's like, a banana. What is that? $10? How much is a banana? $10? Anyway, it's a deep cut. Yeah, man. So we have two guys there who have been failing upwards. Trump, RFK Jr. And I think we have Biden, who is a middle class guy who so far has done a very fantastic job. I don't know, man. I don't understand why this race is so close.
Unfortunately, can I just say something controversial? I think that America right now is starting to feel like a very spoiled child to me in my analysis. It's starting to feel like either you're not realizing that the United States has come out of both the COVID crisis and the European crisis that we're having in regards to the Russia war with Ukraine, and came out quite rosy on top. Our inflation is gone, basically. Rates are going down, but are not all the way down. After a while, what is it that you want? And the idea that they do not remember what it was like to have Donald Trump, a man that on a daily basis would disturb you. By the way, guys, can I just say something else? I'll say this on the record to all our listeners and everybody else. The thing about Donald Trump that I don't want is to even fucking listen to him. It was every day of his presidency that would come. By the way, I was listening to this thing with this economist who was talking about Donald Trump's policies in regards to America. He said it is a surefire way to bankrupt the United States. Everything that he's doing in terms of tariffs, in terms of he's doing
Trump is proposing all these policies.
Every single policy that Donald Trump will be proposing, which, by the way, nothing will be talked about in the debate. But if you look at exactly what he is proposing, it is exactly the correct formula to tank the fucking American casino, which is what we're talking about here. We're talking about a man who tanked the casino. And I think he did it twice.
Yeah, he did it twice. No, listen, I think it's worse than that, Miguel. You're talking about accomplishments, right? Let's talk about straight up fucking pandering. Let's talk about buying votes. Okay. I'm going to give you a number here. Yeah. Biden has canceled $5 billion on his student loans. Mm-hmm. Not only he canceled, but he had to go against the Supreme Court. With the Supreme Court, by the way,
right?
Yeah, we could talk about that Supreme Court case. That was bullshit, but whatever. Against great opposition, he managed to cancel $35 billion in about 20 to 40 million Americans. Miguel, on the low end of that, the 20 millions, right? And these are all people under 30, right? Not all of them, but mostly under 30. You will think that some of these guys will go, hey, man, this guy literally put $10,000 in my account, $20,000 in my buying votes. It would have been easier if he sit on it would have been more effective to sit on the fucking, to literally go and stand with a stack of bills and say, here's $1,000, vote for me. Here's $1,000. No, he has put so much money. The return on this money has been horrendous. While a guy let me tell you the difference, like a guy like Timothy Mellon that we just talked about, spent $100 million on a campaign, and gets billions of dollars in returns, right, on tax cuts or regulation and shit, right? We have Biden spending like a $35 billion and getting us. I mean, on top of that, don't get me going he lowered the price of insulin, right? To $35. You will think between the young people who got their student loans wiped out and the fat people who now can pay for insulin, right? Without being
Insulin,
bankrupt.
by the way, a drug that I believe has been around for, I don't even know, what, 80 years, whatever. I don't know,
Yeah.
and still being overpriced by the pharmaceuticals here.
Yeah, it wasn't anymore because finally Biden says you can only charge $35.
Yeah.
But Miguel, talk about controversial. If Biden could actually count in the vote of the young and the fatties, right? This election will be on the bag, but it's no. It's like, Jesus fucking Christ, what else you have to do? Sure, he fixed the economy. Sure, we had lower unemployment. Sure, we got... No, but this is like literally straight up pandering. Like, not even the pandering. And this fucking election is still tight. So...
Well, I'm going to make this prediction. I don't think that this debate's going to matter much. It's not going to move the needle. I do think, though, that if things go wrong for Biden, they have the potentiality of tanking the entire campaign for Biden, basically. So it's going to be an enormous risk and very little reward for our side.
Yep. Yeah, but that's kind of like what we're used to, right? As Hillary Clinton said, if Trump doesn't set himself on fire, again, I remember you and I, we saw the debates with Hillary Clinton.
Yes.
Every one of those debates were like, oh my God, Hillary just wiped the floor with the guy. Wiped the floor. Next day, I don't know.
He didn't choke in his own tongue. I guess he won.
Yeah, like the same thing with the presidential, with the last election, right? That was just he babbling over Biden, Trump babbling over Biden. And that it just doesn't make a fucking difference.
Trump's rhetoric has become so beyond the pale unhinged. Like, it is gone into this other new place. Like, he's been talking in that bubble for so long now, David, that it's beyond whatever it was in 2016. That even the exposure of that, it could maybe for me start reminding people what the fuck this guy was.
Well, to give you the other side of that, the other side of that is usually incumbent presidents don't do well on the debate. Because basically they're doing important shit and they don't have nearly as much time to prepare.
Correct.
For the debate.
And I know that and I understand that, but I was thinking about it this week. Whatever Biden can put in time in Camp David to prepare for the debate, it's going to be 100 times more than Trump did in whatever all day that he had.
Yeah. Also, the time that Trump spent giving speeches, what do you call, on his rallies.
Yeah,
he actually makes him sharper. He's been in campaign mode for much longer than Biden has been. So there is something to it. Listen, for good or for bad, this is the battle for that 23% undecided people who hopefully just going to tune in to the election cycle this week. Or here we are waiting for you guys. We've been waiting for you guys all this time, and we hope some of them, 3 or 4% of those get persuaded one way or another. And those are the ones who decide. It's not you or me.
No.
Or the MAGA supporters who are going to the rallies. It's those guys who haven't been paying attention.
The strange thing about these undecided voters, do you really think they're going to show up or tune in on Thursday? And what's going to happen to those? Usually they only have to tune in late October, then tick the box and then disappear. They're going to just come in and then follow
this is finally, I think this is the beginning. I think this is when people start paying attention. By the way, there is a good rumor that Trump already picked up a VP. And I'm pretty sure this is what's going to play out. The announcement for after the debate. If the news cycle is not favoring, they can switch the conversation really quickly to who the VP is. Do you know who the rumor has it is going to be?
Boebert just won her election, so it can't be her.
I know who the top guy is. J.D. Vance. It's like, go ahead and tell me.
Vivek Ramaswamy.
No.
That's a rumor.
No.
That's a rumor. By the time that people are going to be listening to this, I'm going to be right, we're going to be wrong, but that's a rumor right now.
I will bet, David, right now in front of all of you, and a full-on arepa dinner if Vivek wins. I think it's going to be J.D. Vance or one of the other old men idiots. I don't think it's going to be Rubio. But
no, it's definitely not going to be Rubio. But one thing I tell you, they're definitely saving that announcement for after.
I can see it, yeah.
For the cycle after the debate, just in case they need to switch the conversation.
We talked about that. It's like in this day and age, if they're not bringing anything really to the table, then what are they doing? I'm surprised they Is there no Republican that's somewhat popular in Michigan that they can bring in as a who could help Trump in Michigan? I guess is my thing.
They already are RFK in Michigan taking care of that.
I see.
But yeah, listen, here's the thing. Here's the one that people are not talking about, Miguel. If Pennsylvania, I'm telling you right now, Pennsylvania, right? Pennsylvania is like leaning for Biden. If Trump wins Pennsylvania, it's game over. It's basically game over. So I don't know. So it would be nice to have somebody from that would be the Midwest, right?
When is Biden going to announce his VP?
I'm crossing my fingers, man. I still have hope that it's not going to be. I'm telling you. I wish it wasn't Kamala Harris. That's all I can tell.
If Biden could give you anything at all, is just come in with a different VP. It would be David like the happiest. It would be like David's greatest summer since he was maybe like 8 years old, and that girl that smiled at him that way.
You know it. Miguel, I think we had a lot to look forward to, my man.
I think we're gonna see how good we are at predictions. We're gonna be good at how good we are at being disappointed.
Yeah. I'm good at that. I'm good at being disappointed. Until very soon, we want to definitely come back here after the debate to give you guys a lowdown of all the interesting parts. In the meantime, don't forget to write us. Like us, follow us, all that good stuff. Keep listening, press play, and put the phone away and let it play.
But we gotta go back because we gotta go park some cars right now, guys.
Yes, we're both wearing the uniform.
Out there. Where the hell? Where's the guy who parked our cars, man? All right, David. I'm gonna take care of the Lambo, buddy.
We're doing a political podcast. It just makes total sense. So all right, my man. Until next week.
I'll see you next week. Take it easy.
Bye, bye, man.